What is up, guys? Welcome back to another WannaBOutdoors video. You might notice I got a little bit of a different hat on today. Well, that's because this is a little bit of a different video. This last winter, while there was no ice in Minnesota while I was there over Christmas break because it was so warm, I got the chance to go down and do an interview with one of the premier muskie bait makers, for sure in Minnesota, probably in the nation. I got to talk to Duff Thury of Supernatural Big Baits. I got to ask him some questions and go tour their shop down there. It was a super cool experience. Hope you guys enjoy. The first thing you notice when you pull up in the parking lot is you are in the middle of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And it is busy and bustling, and you're very much in the industrial side. And you're like, man, how can something made here be the same thing I'm using out there on the lake? Like, they just seem like two completely different worlds. And then you walk into the shop, and the smell of wood and epoxy hits your nose, and you can just be like, oh, there's the connection right there. Like, you can smell the hard work in this shop. And the next thing you notice walking around the shop is, wow, these guys have got a system, and it's down and it works. There's baits in every stage of being created throughout the whole shop, from wood blanks all the way to baits drying with epoxy on them, ready to have hooks put on. I mean, they've got baits of every color, every shape, every size in every stage of the process. So it's really cool to be able to walk around the shop and see all the baits that are in all these different stages of getting ready to be finished and sent out to people who have ordered them.
My name's Duff Thury, owner of Supernatural Big Baits. I'm a bait maker. We make the world's greatest muskie and trolling bait. We've got one state record already from Minnesota, 58¼ inches long, caught on a 12-inch headlock. They're known to start fights with big fish. So this is my shop. We make all the baits here. Are all handmade, hand painted, hand spun, hand wrapped, hand delivered. So they're made out of wood. We use an aluminum lip in them with three positions. Let's see if I can show you one of these.
You grab a bait there.
Okay, here we go. So they got three holes in them. We like to put it in the middle hole. Each hole changes the action a little bit. This is a glittered bait, rainbow trout. It's a headlock. It's a little bit thinner than a matlock. A matlock is a little thicker in comparison. But we try to keep the same dive curve. 3-to-1 is the line out. So 30 feet of line out at 3.5 miles an hour will get you 10 feet down. They're kind of known for a wandering action. A lot of crank baits are made where they just track straight and they go like that. Ours go like this. They still track straight, but they've got a really wide, what's called a walk or a wander. So they wander about 4 feet each side to center. So it's kind of a fleeing bait fish kind of a look, and it seems to trigger the muskies that we're after. It's a big plus. It's one of the only baits that wanders and that far.
You've got some jointeds there behind you. Do you want to talk about those a little bit? Those are fairly new that you guys are doing the jointeds, right?
Yeah, it's a newer bait for us. We're trying to, increase our repertoire. We're really good at making a bait without a joint in it, and these are a little bit more of a challenge. I got a piece of tape on this one yet, but yeah, it's a 2-piece, it's segmented bait. We've got a link in there that's never going to come apart, but same lip, same body. But we made a jointed bait just so, well, for a couple of reasons. A different action. We like the noise component and of it where it makes a little knock. Even underwater, it's still an audible sound. And I guess the other thing is you can fish a little bit slower and have the illusion of speed. It looks like it's a flaying bait fish when the back half of the segment of the bait is it's going back and forth. It just looks like it's swimming away faster than it really is. And sometimes you can catch more fish on a jointed bait than you can on a straight bait. When a straight bait can't get bit, you put on a jointed bait, and it just seems like that's the thing that tripped the trigger there. Is that I wish I started this a few hours ago or a few years ago. In my case, I'm making baits, but we put a lot of hard work into the preparation, the fit, and the finish of that joint, and we figured out how to do it and how to do it efficiently, and we can make a bait that still catches real big fish and still somewhat affordable. So it's good. It's good for everyone.
And then I guess, with that being said, like, you guys just came out with those. What's the next big thing? What are you guys pushing the limit with next on your lure making abilities here?
We've got an idea we've been working on for about 8 years. It's slow going, but we're trying to make a bait that goes. We've got this part down on the wandering, where we're going four foot off a center and each way. Now we think if we can make something that has some up and down, like, we don't know what the ratio of how far up and down is. It 1 foot up and down is going to be enough, or 4 feet going to be better? So we've got a system that I think we're going to be able to produce to make it go up and down, and then combining that with the back and forth.
I guess. You better introduce yourself first. Start the interview with that, and then.
Hello, my name is Mark Westland. I've been working for Supernatural Big Baits for going on 6 years now. Seems like a dozen, but for the most part, it's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun. Unless Duff's around, then it's a lot of hard work. But we do manage to have a pretty good time. Probably one of my best stories I've heard about Supernatural was a friend of ours from Duluth. His name was Dean Tessing. Was fishing on the Chippewa flowage, and it was a custom bait, so we put his name on it, and he lost it in the lake. And we got a call a while later from somebody that found the bait, read the name on the back of the bait, and wanted to know why their last name was on the back of this bait. And we did some research and talked to Dean, and it turns out that the person who found Dean's bait was related to him distantly, and they didn't even know each other. So that's pretty nice that your relatives that you don't even know find your bait.
Yeah. What are the chances?
What are the chances of that?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
So I guess what
for a while, my daughter was working for us, and I had bought some glitter at Michael's one day, and it was pretty cool looking glitter. And I asked my daughter if she could come up with a pattern to use this. Thank you, Duff. To use this glitter for, and this is what she came up with. Looked really good. We tried it out. We made a bait. Her name was Libby. We made the bait, and I asked her what she wanted to call it, because she gets naming rights, because she came up with it. And the name of the glitter at Michael's was called Princess Mix, because it's a mixed glitter. And so she decided to call it Princess Party. So now we get all these big He-Man, musky fisherman guys come to us and say they want to have a princess party. So we made this bait, and we took it out on the lake and trolled it, and my daughter Libby caught her first muskie on a princess party, which is a pretty cool way to tie everything together.
It's a great story.
Yeah, that's another really.
It's my favorite
really
color.
Good story.
Maybe not my best producer, but it is my favorite color because Libby came up with that. It is a top bait. It is the top of the line musky baits, and that's, we're not making a piece of junk here. There's a lot of work that goes into them. We get a fair price for them. It sounds high, but considering how much work goes into them, they're a bargain. I mean, people go spend $10, $12 on a sucker, and that's good for one fish, one day. You can buy a matlock for $100 and you can catch 30, 40, 50 fish on them. We've got one client that's caught over 30 muskies on one particular lure.
Yeah, and outside of some new hooks, probably that bait is.
Oh, it's been
just
around the
fine,
block.
I
You
would
can tell
guess.
it's caught
Yeah,
them, but
I
it
mean-
still works.
Oh yeah, yep. New coat of epoxy every once in a while.
We've gotten baits back where they had run it into rocks so much that it's worn down past the middle hole. And they're like, don't do anything except put a coat of epoxy on it because it's still catching fish.
The guys were nice enough to even let me try to get in on some of the bait making, which was definitely a little interesting. I didn't get to actually paint anything or anything like that, but I did get to do some epoxy work. And then trying to get it screwed in was definitely a challenge as well.
Hey,
Is that a challenge?
That looks good. Now flame it, please. He's walking over to the flame. He's gonna flame. And don't burn it or you're gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
He's trying to knock the bubbles and the dust off of it.
Is that good enough, you think?
Make sure the eyes are clear. Is there any bubbles on those eyes? Good.
Now we're good.
Okay, good. I'm gonna go over. He's gonna hang the bait.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. It's going in. No, you can't put it there. You gotta put it on the inner circle.
The inner circles are the only ones that it fits on?
Well, otherwise it's harder to get it on the inner circle when you do the outer circle.
I see that. I can see how this is a challenge.
Okay, we're gonna go back around this way. Yeah, you gotta work faster now. You know, this isn't walleye fishing. This is hard.
This
Okay.
is fast-paced musky fishing
Okay,
for me,
and
not
that
walleye.
sagging, you gotta keep that bait rotating because it's going to the bottom. Jesus Christ. No,
Yeah, I'm going righty-tighty. It ain't going in.
it ain't going in. Nobody could do it, huh? This is almost impossible. Well, congratulations. You just finished your first bait.
There we go. I don't know how it's screwed in there. It is, but
A huge thank you to Mark for getting me into the shop. That was kind of my in. Him and I go muskie fishing every summer. One of these summers we'll get one on video. I've caught 3 of them, but they were all pre me doing YouTube. So we're trying. We've been trying every year. So hopefully we can get one on video. But thank you to Mark for getting me in. Thank you, Duff, for the interview. It was really cool to come into your guys' shop and see what it was all about. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you next week.